achieved with CryEngine.
Howdy, everybody.
Howdy.
Howdy doody.
Howdy doody doody we do.
Doody woody.
What a booty.
Gall darn doody woody. I haven't done the opening yet, Drax. I'm just about to do it. Woo, McFish is in there quick. I'll start. I got to start the opening. It's time to start the opening. You guys already have a group going?
Not that I know
of. Okay, hang on a second. McFish, come on over. We'll figure something out.
Warning. Warning. Main bay doors opening. Please keep your hands and feet inside the vehicle at all times. The stream will begin shortly.
Okay, what do we got here? We got Hellbringer. Are you dropping?
He said he was AFK a while back, but you know.
All right, Gunfighter, here's an invite for you, and here's an invite for... Where'd McFish go? Here's one for McFish, and here's one for Drax. And Hellbringer will be back when he's back. Where are my little foot pedals? Oh man, they're way under there. How do they get this far away? I don't really understand. They slip around a lot, I guess.
So I guess we're good on tonnages?
Looks like we're good. Wait, so there's a remastered 4K Mechwarrior 3 intro? How is that even possible? I wonder who even has those files anymore to re-render that. Or maybe they rendered it at high res a long time ago. Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, it's an older one.
Yeah. I mean, Mechwarrior 3 is...
I still do have... I do have all the originals. I actually have the disc. I
probably have a Mechwarrior 3 disc somewhere. I'll bet. Wouldn't surprise me at all.
3 and all the 4s.
I've got Mechwarrior 1 on floppies.
I lost those.
Got them all. I got the 5 1/4 and the 3 1/2.
Have it.
I'm hoping that works.
I imagine some you youngins like Drax have never even seen Mechwarrior 1 in real life.
Youngins?
Mm-hmm. And you spring chickens.
Please. Yay.
Enjoy it while you can get it. Nobody calls me a spring chicken anymore unless it's Jennifer's 95-year-old mother.
I just wasn't into gaming when I was a kid, to be honest.
Oh, that's probably good.
You wasn't into what?
Gaming, like computer gaming when I was a kid.
You probably learned important skills like staying on a bicycle. A lot of kids can't even ride bikes these days.
Yeah.
That's probably not true at all.
A lot of kids can't even spell their names these days.
I think that's the parents.
They can't spell normal words.
I think that's the parents that name them funny names that are spelled funny, or normal names that are spelled funny. I don't think we can blame that on the kids.
But don't they still go to primary school in, like, countries?
Yeah, they do.
They don't learn how to spell their own name?
They do. He's being overly dramatic.
Smack a drac reference.
You know, they're always using these emotes and stuff to spell their names.
Yeah.
Smack a drac.
They can't spell boy and girl.
Wow. What did I do?
It's boys now, right?
BOIZ or something like that.
Well, you know,
Like,
it's been around. I
booze.
mean, Frank Zappa named his kids Dweezil and Moonbeam.
I thought it was Moon Unit.
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
Moon-
you think
Moon
you'd get to a
Unit,
certain
yeah.
age and just divorce your parents for stuff like that, hey?
They don't allow that here. Maybe they do in Australia.
Online. Weapons.
What do you mean? America's the first country they had the divorce parents thing go on.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right.
This is clan commands. Get to the target and
Well, we're pioneers. What can I say?
get in the way.
Of stupidity sometimes.
Oh, have you seen some of the latest? I don't know whether it's gossip or just little stuffs on the Supreme Court case.
Yeah, I haven't read any of it yet.
Read-
There was a leak of an opinion that was put out that, or a majority opinion that was put out about it, but they haven't got the dissenting opinions yet, and none of it should have been leaked. So that's like the first time in history that's ever been done. It's pretty uproarious by all accounts.
Well, especially on one side of the fence.
Yeah,
It's a very contentious issue over in the United
it
States,
is.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Artillery strike online.
Target spotted.
I mean, you know that's kind of like the Elon Musk buying Twitter thing. A certain one certain.
Oh, I think
group
it's
is
a
losing
way bigger issue than
minds
Elon
over
Musk
it.
buying Twitter.
Oh, I don't think it compares to Elon Musk, dude. I don't think that's minimizing it to the nth degree.
Artillery strike.
I mean, certainly to the extent that people are upset about it, sure, I get the analogy, but this thing's been going on a lot longer than Twitter.
Yeah.
I see we've got a hibernal rift and domination, but I'm sitting here on the loading screen.
We're actually in a match.
Yeah, you're in the match with us, except you're not. You're DC'd.
So you might
So
need
you
to
might wanna
restart.
Turn off. You might want to restart your game. You might be dead
Okay,
soon.
so because I DC'd,
Yeah, like you're in game for us, but you're DC'd. So I don't know what to say.
Okay, I'm in trouble here.
Spotted.
Where are you?
I'm over here on top with a Fafnir for some reason. I ended up with the Fafnir looking at me.
Target spotted.
And a little Irby.
Target spotted.
You do put yourself in places, don't you?
I do. I seem to have a knack for it. Well, they're going to come around and kill me because they know I'm up here.
Target spotted.
am I dead yet?
Oh, they came down. What do you know?
Back. We can't let them take control.
That means
No, you're not dead yet.
Oh.
Left cruiser critical damage.
I'm working on being dead. I haven't quite accomplished it yet. Oh, I need to.
Oh, I didn't know that was happening.
Online.
Ah! You big mechs and your big things.
Target spotted. Target spotted.
Okay, last time I walked around the corner here,
Go
I
ahead
died.
and jump again, buddy. I'd love for that to happen.
Target spotted.
Lots of jumping mechs in here on our side and not on our side.
New target.
Gulf Stalkers in
acquired.
the open.
Okay, how do I get back in the match?
Where are all the bad guys?
Target destroyed.
Oh, look, I killed a stalker.
Oh, there it is. I'm
Oh.
coming in.
Well, you're still not dead.
I'm still loading though.
Where are
Whoa!
you guys?
Ouch!
Target
Oh,
spotted.
you're down there. I'll give you a little hit here, buddy.
Target
Come on over.
acquired.
Probably should not do this, but
I'm dead.
I'm gonna.
That was silly. They knew what I was going to do. Oh,
Left
Ow.
leg
Listen.
destroyed.
Listen, man.
Right leg critical damage.
Well, I'm going to be dead in a
Torso
moment.
critical damage.
It might be the last to die, to be honest.
Torso critical damage. Heat sink destroyed.
Ah, he got me before I could turn on him.
You might be better off in an assault, Rex.
No, I can't stand assaults. You know that. Terrible. Let's do like 40
McFish, why didn't you want Solaris City?
It's the worst map in the game.
I don't.
It's nice for lights.
I don't
though.
mind it.
Target acquired.
Well, you're going to come in fresh gunfighter, so you could do a fair bit of damage if you
If you hurry up.
Target destroyed.
yeah, if you're going to move on. They're basically C4, C3.
Fuel
What
at 25%.
gunfighter? What are you coming in with? What's your mech?
Actually, I'm already viewing him. He's got ER meads
A what?
and an ATM.
Critical damage.
He's got some ATMs and ER meads.
How big a
already,
mech is it? Is he fast enough to get to where the battle is?
Oh,
Timberwolf. He's in the battle.
Oh,
He's in the
okay,
battle.
great. I'll go find him here and watch him too.
But he's
Center torso
he's already like
critical
one of his
damage.
arms is already gone.
Oh, he needs
He's got
those.
48 damage.
my JJ's gone.
He's been halved.
Left torso critical damage.
Target
Center
spotted.
torso critical.
Okay, he's dead.
The enemy.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
I just walked
That
into
was
5
one
mechs on the
nasty
top
little
there. I thought they were
Kirby
staying on
mix.
the low ground.
Oh, I thought you ran into 8.
That might be the problem, Drax.
Kinda
You just
looked like their entire
you
team.
miscounted.
It did look like their entire
Yeah.
team because I think it was. I thought they were going to stay in the low and I'd just go out and flank them.
If
and
it had
they were
only
just like,
been
no, we're going to go up here now.
If it had only been 5, you would have won, but there was 8.
Yeah. I mean, I've done it before, but you know what you do.
Yeah,
that's
when they're
what
all
you
in a
should do. You
firing
should just
line.
Stay in the low ground. Stay in the low ground and let them all shoot down on you. Yeah, that'll work.
It worked well. He's down there.
I was only on the low ground because I fell down.
Your efforts here have been seriously disappointing. The enemy
You might have seen me trying to get to the high ground at the beginning. It took forever.
Oh, trying to get up the steep.
Yeah, I had a
inside.
standard 225, and apparently that particular path is not easily
Oh, that was bad.
transversed.
That was
Wow,
very
at least
bad.
I got a KMDD.
Nice, McFish.
I did respectably. Excuse me.
I didn't.
Yeah, I was in the match for what, half a second?
Yeah, you're gonna have to work on your entrance to the matches. Your entrance is a little soft, I think.
Oh man, that was awful.
Blue Devil
I
Spawn.
know. I just lost it.
Welcome.
I'm going to need a re-invite by the
All
way.
right. I can arrange that. Invite sent. Uptime. It's uptime. Does that mean I have to wake up? Because I'm not very awake. Oh man. See?
You mean it's not Yanni time?
It is Yanni time. Yanni. He sold 12 million records. Yanni.
The quicker picker upper.
Yanni was like a... Did he sing? Or did he play the... No, that was Zamfir that played the pan flute. What did Yanni do? He sang. Greek composer.
Oh no, I'm thinking of that other the guy with the axe and the flannel.
No, I'm thinking of the Greek
and-
composer.
and paper towels.
Keyboardist, pianist, music.
Ronnie, that's what I'm thinking.
Oh, Ronnie. Blending jazz, classical, soft rock, and world music to create predominantly instrumental works. Yanni. He looks a little bit like... what's his name? He looks like Kenny Rankin a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. Oh, here's the launch. Probably made a lot of money, though. By golly. By Yanni.
They pay you to yawn?
I wish I got paid to yawn. Wouldn't that be great? All right. I just keep thinking about that Crusader.
Which one?
Just the pack. I don't want to spend that much on a medium mech.
We'll be
I
able
wish it
to
was
see
a
in
heavy.
July. We can play with them in July, right?
Yeah, but I have to buy them while they're on sale if I want to pay for them. I just don't know if I want to pay for them or not. Do. Okay, I didn't map. I didn't choose a map. I'll go Hibernal again. I don't really care for it, though. Looks like that's the winner. Mowed my lawn today. I have a big lawn.
You enjoyed it, map.
Takes a long time.
How many acres you got?
I don't have acres. I've got less than an acre, but it's just a lot of it's grass. And I got to go around a lot of things.
Do you use a clipboard or do you use nail clippers?
I do it with nail clippers, yeah. I feel like it's a more organic experience. I'm more in touch with the earth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, just check.
Sometimes if I'm feeling particularly green, I'll get down and just gnaw the grass blades off with my teeth like a herbivore. I feel that's like...
So in other words, your yard, it is not made of alfalfa or clover.
No. It's regular green
Right.
Kentucky bluegrass or green grass or some kind of grass. It's actually a playground mix, shade, sun. But I feel like it's more nutritious right now, so now's the time to really, bite in.
I mean, all the lawns that I've mowed and stuff, they're usually clover or alfalfa.
Online.
And then what you do when you cut them...
Clover's not grass,
Right.
though. That's just like a weed.
And then you rake them up, and you bale them up, and then you throw them in a trailer and put them in a barn, and then you feed them to cattle.
Oh, no, I don't do any of that stuff. That's you only have to mow once. But when you mow, you have to pull it all up and bale it and haul it. It's a lot of work.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I did buck hay in my youth. I have done that and was pretty sure that was not something I wanted to do regularly.
Target spotted.
It's one of those, it's good to have the experience. Glad I don't have to keep doing this.
Target spotted. Need assistance.
Please don't stop there, Dirk.
Affirmative.
Don't what?
Target spotted.
Don't what? Don't what?
Target spotted.
I don't know what fix.
It was please don't stop there.
Oh, I had to stop so I wouldn't get
I can't
shot.
defend myself against that. That's
I
crazy.
thought they were going to shoot me. They seemed
What are
they
they doing?
seemed mean.
Artillery strike.
Target
online.
spotted.
Please don't stop there too.
I got to stop somewhere.
Please don't stop there.
If I go out here, they're going to shoot me. Just so you know.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
Please don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Oh, somebody's shooting me.
Artillery strike. online.
The nerve.
Spotted.
Left
Ouch.
arm critical damage.
Someone just took off my left arm almost. Is that somebody behind me? Where are they?
Need assistance. Target spotted.
Okay, I ride with the dart.
Online.
Need assistance.
I have no cover here, and I don't like it.
Left destroyed.
Target spotted.
Oh, dart. I've got my hands on the yellow and black hands. Just let me know when. I'll yank them that way we both don't die.
Yeesh. It's messy over here. Come on, buddy, pop out here. I'll shoot ya.
We have taken
Left flag critical damage.
Target
No,
spotted.
they popped
Need
out.
assistance.
They are a quarter of the way there. Do not let them push ahead.
Yeah, he popped out again there, dog.
Where? Who are you talking about?
Left torso critical.
Oh, this guy or that guy?
Right torso
There's a whole
critical
trio of them.
damage.
Trio of
Yeah, I'm
them.
in trouble then. Yep. I didn't see them down there, and I didn't see them on my map. I thought it was the guy up top that I was kind of waiting for.
New target
Oh, this guy?
Right, fishy.
Target spotted.
A good start.
Target
Killed you a
spotted.
bit, right?
Holding the
Target
resource
spotted.
points, warriors.
New target. Left flag dis. Artillery strike.
Target spotted.
Critical.
Oh, McFish bit the dust.
Ouchie fish.
Oh, they're
Ah!
killing us.
Drax falls down.
Oh, that's
What is
dumb. Why am I making these dumb mistakes? McFish, we just walked straight into his double... Yeah.
Double blastos.
Heat
That was
level
stupid.
critical.
Target spotted.
Yeah,
Bad
so
bot
when you
bit.
stop on the corner, if I'm in a 100-ton mech and I'm behind you,
Yeah,
I either have to stop in the open behind you,
or go
or I have
around.
to stop in your butt,
Right. I
or I
didn't.
have to go around you, and I'm a 100-ton.
Yeah, I get
and going
that.
around you is a really bad
I just didn't even
time.
know you were right behind me. How did you keep up with me?
Well, that's the thing is if you stop,
I know. I didn't even know you were behind me until you said, "Don't stop here." Like, oh.
New target acquired.
Sometimes I stop there to snipe or something, right? So I'm just kind of used to poking.
This
And,
Sinrak guy is just owning.
Resource point Sigma is now controlled by the enemy.
hey, evening, Miss BNR. Yeah, McFish never dies. He just keeps flopping around. That's right. Blue Devil spawn.
at least
and
the
Bad
water
Bot
makes my
bit.
body move, which makes me seem like I'm alive.
Target acquired.
Bad bot bit.
Our Lance is completely dead.
Yeah.
Pity. Shouldn't happen like that. I should have just gone further high ground and gotten behind him, but I was worried about the guys on the ridge. It's getting greedy.
New target acquired.
Need assistance.
New target
Nice.
acquired. Target
The slave blast.
right
Target
arm
spotted.
This
Where's,
guy has like
Bear Claw though. Bear Claw's the danger.
target
he has
destroyed.
6 large lasers in this Stalker.
Oh, there he is.
I think I have a build like that.
Target spotted.
Our foes are halfway.
Target acquired.
What was Bear Claw in?
Slave Hands did some work.
I can't keep mine cold enough to do that.
Hey, Mittens.
So watching the
Welcome.
animation of the Fafnir firing the heavy Gauss, it appears that the Gauss rounds are not caseless, which is really weird.
Bear Claw's in the rail. Okay. So who was he?
Yeah, Slave Hands got 3 killed and 825.
The Hunchback.
Okay, see, here's the deal
Actually,
about the
yeah,
Gauss
let's
rounds
not do
not
that
being
again.
caseless. It's not a case. It's the belt. It's the disintegrating belt that you're seeing ejected.
Oh, it looked like 2 shell casings.
Bad Bot, how you been?
But, okay. That makes much more sense.
I mean, that's like my minigun. When I was working that thing, I kick it up, right? And out one side, you got shell casings flying, and then the other side, you got the disintegrate. Out another area, there's a disintegrating belt.
Oh, it's exam week. Let me get into my... I'm going to get... Was that a Stalker he was in? I think I'm going to try my Stalker. That looked kind of fun.
Yeah, the Foxtrot Bravo.
That's what he was in?
Correct.
Is that the one I have? Where is it?
It has 6 energies and 2 with AMS and ECM.
It's an assault, isn't
And then
it?
there's the Delta with 9 affirmative. It's 85-ton assault.
Why is it not showing up? I'm on bow. Oh, just clan. That's why. You think it's the which one? It's not the 4N or the
No, he had three. He had the 3 Foxtrot Bravo,
I don't think I
and then
have that.
you got the 7 Dog.
I'm trying to figure out which one
Which has
Fish gave
9.
me. McFish gave me a build with like lots of lasers in it, I think. I just don't know which one it is.
Yeah, that would be the dog. It has 9 lasers in the torso.
I think there was one that just had the 6 energy. Maybe this is it. Because it's red and blue. Large, 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 large. Living large. This is it. Watch me not be able to run this thing. This is going to be epic. But the paint job looks good. So we're ready to roll. Did I take too many tons? No, good, good, good. Badbot, this does not have microtransactions per se. You can buy stuff, but everything, most of the stuff, you can get pretty much all the mechs free. They'll come out for money, but if you wait, they'll start selling them for C-bills, and you can earn those. You can also buy them for MC, which you pay for. But you can grind out C-bills and buy just about everything. There are certain things like colors and things like that they can get you on. Yeah, cash does speed things up. Here we go. Have you not played it yet? You haven't played it, right? You need to download it. It's free. Download it. Go through the tutorial. Come back over here. We'll get you into drop and we'll teach you how to die. How to stay alive.
No, you said it right the first time.
Yeah, you should just download it. While you're watching this, just download it. It's a fun game. It's a great game. Especially if you like big, stompy robot things. Hee Haw, are you referring to the old Hee Haw show? Which I always thought was so bad. I never really got the Southern humor train that was on. Oh, Clash Royale. I don't even know what that is. That's a game, right? I think I've heard of it as a game. Do 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 do.
Hooty doody
Hooty doo doo doody doo doo. Doodly doo doo doo. Mobile game. You wonder why I've never heard of it, Miss BNR? You know I've never heard of it because I just don't keep up on that kind of stuff. Like the fact that I know that Mechwarrior Online exists, that's impressive, really. But it's because I played Mechwarrior 1, Mechwarrior 2, Mechwarrior 3, Mechwarrior 4, and then I had to stop because I had kids and they needed me more than the mech pilots did.
You played the Crescent Hawk's Revenge?
I don't know if I played Crescent Hawk's Revenge. Was that a 3D top-down one?
That was number 1. It was definitely 2D.
I didn't play any 2D ones. Mechwarrior 1 was Mechwarrior.
You're talking about the old 8-bit?
Yeah, it was on the Commodore 64.
Oh, no, I didn't ever play that. Was that was called... I remember that, though, now that you say that. Crescent Hawk's Revenge. I had a Commodore 64, so you'd think... I just didn't know that mechs really existed until Mechwarrior 1 came out. And then I kind of was drawn to that and liked it a lot. And then I started reading the books and really enjoyed those. So at that point, I was a sucker and started buying all their different games. If they were sims, I didn't really care if it was a side scroller or a top-down 3D thing. I wanted a simulator.
It's a sandwich.
What about a sandwich?
The fish is a sandwich.
And have you read all the books?
I've read lots of the books. I have lots of the books. I have not read them all. I just finished the new Grey Death Legion saga book that just came out a while ago.
Oh, who's the author?
William F. Keith, same guy that did the first 3. I was a little...
Isn't that the original?
What's that?
Guy way back in the 80s?
Original guy. He's a fairly prolific science fiction writer, actually.
I thought he was dead.
Nah. He is dead, but not in the way you're thinking.
Don't rotate, guys. Hold left.
No, he's alive, and he wrote one. I hope he's going to write a couple more, because I really like his writing style. In this case, it felt like...
Yep.
I think he writes battles really, really well, But in this case, it felt a little bit like there wasn't enough character story at all. It was kind of all battle to battle to battle to battle, pretty much. And I got kind of... That wasn't great. But generally, I really like his writing. And it was certainly a good story. I just enjoy some of the character, a little bit of character, you know. Then you can blow the characters up. I'm totally fine with that, too.
They got a lot of assault on the wall.
They're all hugging the walls.
Assault. Marauder in the basement.
Target spotted.
Echo 5.
Target spotted. Target
Target
spotted.
acquired. Artillery strike online.
Affirmative. Need assistance.
Hello, folks.
Hey, Crimson.
Hey, Crimson.
Welcome.
Hey there. Yeah?
You sound a little sleepy.
Target spotted. Need assistance.
Oh, there's a whole trio of them down here at least.
Very sleepy. Not a bit. I'm very sleepy. Oh, wow.
Target spotted.
Artillery strike
They got me.
online.
Oh, no.
There's at least 3 of them in the basement.
Okay, guys, don't
Summoner,
scatter.
Catapult.
Target spotted.
I didn't get the other one.
Target spotted.
Man, there's a lot of arty strikes all over the place. Everybody's playing with arty strikes. Let's go to heat mode.
Artillery strike online.
Nightstar, I'm with you.
Target spotted.
Guy at the top. McFish. Oh.
I'm in a lake, Stalker. I'm not going to be supporting anybody that isn't near me.
Yeah, I'm near you. I'm sort of in fire range. Line of sight range.
I feel like I got one of these guys coming around. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that.
Target spotted.
Nice game time.
Target spotted.
Is that an awesome I see up there? No.
Left
Yeah.
arm critical damage.
God.
This thing's so slow.
You know, if you hit the R key, that'll help you target.
Oh!
Target destroyed.
This is becoming annoying.
Left arm
This is really becoming
destroyed.
annoying.
Spotted.
Left torso critical
Walking into
damage.
people's fire.
Ouch. This is the wrong way to go, but I'm going.
Right torso destroyed.
Uh-oh.
Really stupid stuff.
Oh, would you look at that? He's up top shooting you in the back.
Yeah. What do you know? I was worried about the other 2 guys,
Sound
too.
so flat today, buddy. What's going on?
Hey,
Hello?
Mr. Fishy.
Incoming missile.
You sound like you got a cold.
Were you just not sleeping?
Not really.
Incoming missile.
Yeah, kinda not
Torso
sleeping again.
Destroyed. Right arm destroyed.
Oh, there's only 2 of you.
Yeah,
left.
Miss Beanar, this was even before
Large
I knew what jazz was. When I was a little kid, my dad would put Hee Haw on occasionally. He liked Laugh-In. We'd watch that occasionally, and then we'd try Hee Haw, and I don't think any of us really. He considered himself a redneck. He was a college professor redneck.
Right arm destroyed.
He called himself a redneck professor. Grew up in small little towns. So he, would laugh at some of the stuff, but I just didn't like, I don't know, it was a little too hee-haw for me. And I was little, so I would have been like 8 or something like that. So it wasn't really geared to me anyway. Kind of like the Lawrence Welk show. It's like, nah, this is kind of boring. Wasn't really interested. Well, I didn't do terribly. I just didn't do
I did.
enough.
I got a kill, but I walked straight into someone's
Oh.
fire again. I'm just rounding corners and just getting bladed.
Ouch.
It's really dumb stuff. Anyway,
Wasn't that you that called them out in the basement?
So Badbot,
Me?
there.
No?
Somebody said there was a Stalker in the basement, right? Or a Marauder in the basement.
The Marauder.
no.
So I dropped down in the basement to help, And yeah, there was a Marauder
But you were
and a Summoner.
you were the only one down there.
I don't see the point of shooting things in the basement early game because
They can't shoot you
unless you know there's only one or two.
Yeah, they can't shoot you
No,
unless
but
you're
then they're
going
split.
down there.
But then you're dealing with a split group, which means there's more of you outside
Yeah.
than inside. So kill everything outside.
Yeah.
Well, the thing of it is, I heard somebody call for help.
Yeah, you
so
thought they wanted help. I think they were just saying there was one down there.
Well, if they're stupid enough to do that early, they can die.
Why did they put a plug-in
Well,
receptacle on the nose of this
so you know.
Stalker? Doesn't make sense. Interesting. So Badbot, I am actually going to rely on some of these other guys here to help fill in the gaps. I will go I'll show you something though. As soon as we drop, let me know when you guys are ready. Oh, uh-oh. McFish is doing something. Oh, Kodiak. All right, here's the launch.
Yeah, I'm in my Gauss build here. So hopefully I can find me a nice sniping spot.
All right. After we get out of this drop, I'll show you. Then we can go through the different iterations of the game. But Miss BNR, I like classical music a lot, played in symphonies and orchestras and stuff. I like jazz and big band jazz and small combo jazz. I like pop rock and some rock, not real heavy. I like some bluegrass, actually, a little bit. And I like a lot of different kinds of music. It's just, I don't know. It was the humor. Just didn't do. I mean, who was the guy that played guitar on there? Masterful guitar player. Just really amazing. Can't remember his name. Certainly was impressive, and I was impressed as a kid. Like, wow, he's a really great guitar player, you can tell.
Jimi Hendrix?
No. Nope, he was a fingerstyle, finger-picking acoustic guitar player. And banjo, too, I think. And they would certainly have talented people on there. It just wasn't my cup of tea.
Are you talking about what now?
One of the main guitar player guys on Hee Haw. Let's see.
Roy Clark?
Roy Clark, yep.
Or Buck Owens?
I'll have to look.
The fat guy or the skinny?
The round-headed guy, Roy Clark.
Roy Clark, yeah.
Yeah, he was amazing. Banjo and guitar, yep, he'd play pretty much whatever had strings.
But I watched it for the All Jugs Band.
The what?
The All Jugs Band.
What was that? I don't remember it very well.
All the hotties. You know, all the hotties.
Oh no, I didn't know any of those were.
They blew into the.
Oh, Jugs, all Jug Band. But you're talking about a different kind of jugs. I get it. So, the whole thing. I do remember there was Fanny Farkle who would always say, "My name is Fanny Farkle. Hi," and she'd roll backwards and show her bloomers. And I thought, this is the stupidest thing. And I was just a kid. It just seemed so stupid.
Well, don't forget BR549.
But I see nothing on the 2-lane.
I don't know what BR549 is.
Artillery strike online.
Nothing on the borders.
Target spotted.
ATM shooter Delta 5.
Target spotted.
There goes McFish wandering off alone. D3 by himself.
UAV Echo 4.
Target spotted.
Gonna get some things coming in from C5 shortly.
I forgot I can alpha this baby. Now we're gonna do some serious
But just on
damage.
your targets. Sorry, I'm waiting.
Hey Crimson, can you mute your mic when you're typing up a storm like that? It's pretty loud.
There's a tower star.
Oh, sorry. Hold on. I think I just adjusted the sensitivity to higher so you guys won't hear a single thing. Hold on.
Target spotted.
You guys not hearing a single thing, right? Good.
And from the looks of it, they're not there anymore.
That guy jumped down.
So they might be pushing full throttle to our base. I guess we have to do the same.
Target spotted.
Are you seeing anything, Gunfighter?
Missile. Enemy base is being
Hi.
captured.
I'm bugging out.
Base
Everybody's
is
running
being
away.
captured.
Yep, they're pushing base to base.
Target spotted.
And I was catching a lot.
So do I
of
go to their
battery.
base or our base?
Enemy base is being captured.
They're not going to our base. There might be one or
Behind
two.
us,
But
behind us.
Captured.
Target spotted. Target spotted. Target spotted.
Enemy base is being captured.
Target
Base
spotted.
is being captured. Target acquired.
Target
Base
spotted.
25% captured. New target
Whoever's on
acquired.
F4 with us,
Enemy
get
base
inside
is
the
being captured.
the block, please.
Base is being captured.
Target spotted.
New target acquired.
right.
Enemy base is being
Catapult, just get
captured.
inside, please.
Base is being captured. Base 50%
Need
captured.
assistance.
Warning,
Nice.
incoming missile. Enemy base is being captured.
Need assistance.
But
Target
that's it
spotted.
for us.
Need
Base is
assistance.
being captured.
We just needed one more inside the
Base
Enemy base.
75% captured. Enemy base is being captured.
Need assistance. Need assistance.
Base 90% captured. Base is being captured.
It's a loss. Oh, wait a minute. They got up. It's amazing.
Enemy base is being captured. Base is being captured. Heat level critical.
Good game.
Too bad.
No, stupid game. Capping bases on this kind of business. What's that? It's just done.
Well, at least I killed something.
Yeah, well done.
I thought if you had more weight on a base, you capped it faster. Is that not true?
I mean, if they shoot anyone on
Then
that
it
base or
stops,
just into the
yeah.
base, it stops the count.
Yeah.
So
So we should have sent somebody back at least. McFish, you got to carry harder. 795 and 2 kills is just not enough. Especially if I'm only doing like 200 and no kills. I got 1 kill, I guess. Okay, bad bot. Here we go. Sorry about that. Going to Ugly Mug Cam. This is Mechwarrior 1 for the PC. And as somebody was saying, was it McFish was saying, there was an earlier version that was on the Commodore 64, and that was what Hawk? Something Hawk? Crescent Hawk Revenge. Crescent Hawk's Revenge. Nice. Here's the back side. So this looks great on the front, but on the back you can tell that the graphics involved here are super low res. They're 16 color, 64 polygons per mech. And inside is a 5 1/4 inch floppy. There's 2 of those, or no, I'm sorry, there's 4 of those, and there's 2 3.5 inch 720K floppies. And there's a poster that pops out. I'm not going to unfold it because then the creases get worse. And there's this cool little mech manual. And in the mech manual, it has pictures of the dev team standing by a locust. And the locust is not to scale because the dev team otherwise would be giants. And I actually know some of these guys. This was developed here in Eugene, Oregon by Dynamics, which was started by Jeff Tennell, who lives still, well, he's in Cresswell, so he's just south of here a little bit, 10-15 minutes. And a few other guys. I think I know Mark. Well, no, I don't know all these other guys. I just know the one. That's it. Just the guy who founded it. I knew some of the other guys that they hired. But what's cool about it is it has kind of a little bit back history, right? And it has a map of the inner sphere and the successor states and the different houses. They go over a little bit about each great house and getting started, the mercenary's life and what you're going to have to do. And then it shows you different types of missions and traveling. And then it gets to the mechs. And there's a little overview of your command controls and stuff like that. And remember this, I mean, this thing just looked really rudimentary. You can see here there's a pyramid and a flat plane and a little bump that's like a rock or something. And it literally was, it looked that terrible. It was really terrible. So that was I think that screen cap is from an EGVA? No, that was from a monochrome screen. So that would have been a green, IBM green screen. But they had a 16 color version also if you had a VGA card. And then it goes through the sensors and all that kind of stuff. But then on the back, it's got the locusts and it's got a Jenner and a little artwork, and it's got your Phoenix Hawk and a little bit about it. And it's got a Shadow Hawk and a little bit about that. And you just get to the bigger mechs and pretty soon you got yourself a Rifleman, which look like that. And what else do they have here? Oh, they had a Warhammer and a Marauder. Yes, because it was the coolest looking thing. And they had a Battlemaster. Yes, sir. A little bit of Battlemaster activity there. I can probably ready up and launch this again.
The iconic apples.
So they had kind of the basic iconic mechs. Yep. Here's the launch. And in it, and then they had an appendix that talked about different weapon systems like, you know, long-range, short-range missiles and all that kind of stuff. Basically, you were a mercenary and you would have to repair your mechs and you'd have to go out and battle and come back in and pick your mechs and repair them, and you had to get some pilots. And you had some AI pilots that you could command, much like Mechwarrior 5 now, where a few buttons, you could have them form on you, attack your target, that kind of thing. So it was you with 3 AI pilots against 4 or more computer AI pilots. And it was super fun. And the sound was all done through a PC speaker, just a little PC speaker, and they would pulse modulate one tone. They'd basically turn the speaker on and off super fast in order to vary the pitch. So it was like for a laser. It was horrible sounding, but who cared, right? And it was a lot of fun. by golly. And if you got it on a faster machine, like when 286s came out, you'd put this on there and it would just run super fast. You couldn't really play it. It was crazy because it was made for an IBM PC or an XT or something like that. And then before Mechwarrior 2 came out, which was a big hit, they ported this over to American Online, and you could play it for, I've talked about this before, you could play it for like $7 an hour or $5. It was some crazy amount. And I had a press pass, so I could play it for free, but I was playing with people that were in Hawaii and California and New York. And they were doctors.
But you still had to pay your long distance.
No, I didn't have to, because we had a AOL account at where I worked. I worked at a computer magazine publisher, and I was the puzzles editor.
Oh, okay.
So I got a press pass, and these guys were racking up $2,000 or $3,000 a month bills playing this game. But it was 3 real people against the computer AI pilot, and you were playing in real time. So it was like, as far as I know, it was the first commercially available multiplayer computer sim game where it was a real sim. And then Mechwarrior 2 came out, and of course I bought that, and I bought a joystick for that, and that was, I think that was 64 colors, maybe 256 colors. You had to have an EVGA card to run it. And I bought 5 licenses or 6, probably 5 licenses, and we would play it at work after we got done working. We'd hang around for a little while and play, because you could play on a LAN multiplayer, which was fun. But you were just all together against the computer pilots. Then Mechwarrior 3 came out, and I played that. That was great. Mechwarrior 4 came out. I played a little bit of that, and I liked it, but then my kids were just needing more attention than I could afford to waste on computer games. So I didn't get to play a whole lot of Mechwarrior 4 before I stopped.
Target acquired.
And then I waited, and then Mechwarrior 5 was going to come out, and I was so excited, like, yay! I can play Mechwarrior 5! And then they didn't do it, like we talked about last night. I'm not doing well here.
I'm with you, Fish.
Target spotted.
Target destroyed. New target acquired.
I'm way overexposed here for my armor level. My armor level's low. I'm low.
Target spotted.
That was not a good shot.
Artillery strike.
Target spotted.
online.
Good kill, Fish. I think I hit your arm a little bit. Sorry about that.
Heat level critical.
All right, time to move.
Heat level critical.
Target spotted.
Artillery strike online.
Target spotted. Target spotted. Need assistance. Target spotted. Affirmative.
Artillery strike activated.
Target spotted.
Ow.
Target spotted.
Left arm critical
Target
damage.
spotted. Target spotted.
Left torso critical damage.
They got me. Gosh, I just don't tear this mech up that much. It's kind of dumb because it's got a lot of punch to it.
Artillery strike online.
Oh, you guys can't
Oh,
see the game.
man.
Sorry. Terribly sorry.
Watch out, there's some
Am I
little,
making funny faces like?
New target acquired.
Hey, Kakaya.
Heat level
Pew pew face. Yeah. It's a I'm about to die face is what that is.
target destroyed. Artillery strike.
Initiate enhanced images.
Heat level critical.
Eject.
Target
We shouldn't have
destroyed.
lost that.
Heat
That's
level
nuts.
critical. New
I think I'm getting a
target
bit.
acquired.
Getting frustrated?
Yeah, I think I might play
Take a
something
pause.
else.
Take a breath. Find your zen.
Critical.
Should play the Viper B.
Spake your inner child.
It's not that. I'm just not feeling it today.
Ooh. True mech warriors press through. Chat full of stalkers.
Luckily, this is a PC game, and we're not really true mech warriors. But yeah.
You got zappy zapped.
Look at that concentration. Were my eyes crossed? I'm wondering. The reflection on the screen of my glasses. You guys, that's terrible. I'm sorry I didn't flip it back. I think usually Hellbringer lets me know, but he's not here to keep me in line. All right, Drax.
All right, thanks to drops, guys. I'm going to do something
All
else.
right.
See ya.
Night.
Well, thanks for the
All right,
So that
see
means
you
we need
later.
someone to come in with us. I'm going to drop for another 20, 30 minutes, so there's a slot open. Come on over. Maybe Hellbringer's monitoring and can come over. Or Miss BNR. Or Kakaya. Sarcasmo, you could come over.
I gotta go to bed too.
What? Okay. All right. Thanks, McFish. Good to drop with you. I'm going to switch mechs and get into something I'm not so bad in. It's good to get in this now and then, though, and try it. I'll never get good at it if I don't use it occasionally. Let's go back to heavies. And clan. There we go. You're at work. Okay. Well, Miss BNR. We can go with just us. Crimson, are you able to drop? Or are you too tired? I'm not. I'm tired enough I could go to bed probably, but I'll stream for a little bit more.
Me? No, I'm not tired actually. I just kind of like woke up, sleep,
Okay.
kind of. Yeah.
Well, we got a slot if you want to join us.
Alright, give me a
All
sec.
right. And Mittens, we got a spot if you want to join us. Or Badbot, did you download and do the tutorial? So then, in addition to those Mechwarrior games that are Sims and Mechwarrior 5, so Mechwarrior 4, so then Mechwarrior 5 finally came out just last year, right? A year and a half ago. And it is a Unreal Engine, so much newer graphics engine. Looks beautiful. A little slower paced gameplay than this. And you're playing, you and up to 3 of your additional friends play against computer opponents. And there's lots of them to shoot. So it's a target rich environment typically. But the pace nevertheless seems a little bit slower than this, but it's really nice eye candy. And it's fun to play, and it's got a storyline that you're going through, more like some of the older Mechwarrior games. And then before that came out, though, there was the Mechwarrior 3D top-down turn-based simulator, where you're not in the mech cockpit, you're kind of looking at a battlefield, and you can position your mech lance pieces to different terrain places and target what you want them to shoot at and then roll your dice basically, and they move and they shoot, and it's kind of like battle chess on the Millennium Falcon only with mechs, and then they get a turn to shoot back at your guys and on you go. And I just don't really get into those. Some people really like that, and I paid for it, so I have it, but I mainly did it because I wanted to support anything mech to be developed, right? But some people really like it. So
which one's that?
I can't remember what it's called now. It's like called it's called BattleTech. It's called BattleTech. Yeah. Yep. BattleTech Hairbrain Schemes. Thank you. Yeah, and so BattleTech
Yeah,
is
that
the
was-
overarching name for all of this stuff. Mechwarrior Online, Mechwarrior, BattleTech. It's all BattleTech. And there are literally over 100 novels, so the universe is very rich and full of history and characters and mechs and battles and heroes and stuff like that. And
Are you coming in, Chris?
yes, it is, and it's
Yeah, hold
there's
on.
a lot of
I'm starting the loading screen.
lots of planets in the inner sphere, 1,000 or more, and there was a great empire basically that spanned the inner sphere of planets that were broken up into great houses, and then there was a war that everything kind of was destroyed and fell into Dark Ages basically, and the armed forces led by General Kerensky left the inner sphere, deciding that they were just going to let everybody fight it out basically and not be part of it. And so civilization started to collapse and technology was lost. So battle mechs now, nobody's making brand new top of the line battle mechs much. It's mostly repairing and keeping and patching together old tech. So you might find some lost tech occasionally. You have the Great Exodus. And there's this, it's got, like Comstar was that had hyperpulse generators that would allow you to transmit faster than light messages to different star systems. That kind of degraded also, and it was kept running by what later became known, they were techs. They became known as adepts, and they were able to keep the gear running according to a code book of instructions that were put together by Blake. And the word of Blake became like this biblical figure for them. And so they were kind of clouded in mystery and half religion kind of stuff. But it was, they were in a position where they could spy on everybody in the inner sphere because they got all the messages going to and fro. And Comstar is basically the house that runs all that stuff. And then the exodus of the General Kerensky people, all those warriors, went way out where nobody knew where they went. They disappeared for 400 years. And as civilization's still fighting for territory and trying to rebuild things slowly and trying to discover how some things were still made, they still had jump ships, they still had drop ships, and they still had the miniature fusion plants that ran battle mechs. But a lot of times a warrior would inherit a battle mech from their parent. So there was, kind of feudal, and there was kings and empires and stuff like that. Well, eventually this lost Kerensky army came back, only nobody knew what they were at first. They were the clans, and they came back in, and their mission was to reclaim the inner sphere and reestablish the Star League that had been lost. And they were going to do it by destroying everything in their path and then taking over, basically. And they had taken all that technology with them, and they had not destroyed it in war, but they had trained for war, and even to the point of exalting the warrior class and raising superior warriors with genetic engineering in test tubes. So if you were pureborn, you were raised in a lab in a test tube. If you were a free birth, you were born from a regular human womb, and they were looked down on as being scum and stuff. And you basically served all the warrior class.
Hey, it's your namesake.
And they were bigger, stronger, faster, and meaner, and all that kind of stuff. And their technology was bigger, faster, stronger, cooler, more powerful. So a small group of clan mechs could just mow through most inner sphere mechs. And when they came in, they just kind of started taking over everything. And it took a while for the inner sphere to start marshaling forces over to try to stop them. And ultimately, they came to a big clash, ultimate showdown on a planet called, was it Tarkid?
Right now, Bacon, me or you. Haven't had a single damn run all night.
I think it was Tarkid or something like that. And
Tukid.
I can't say it. Tukid. And yeah, the dirty clanners.
Yeah.
And all of the inner sphere forces kind of showed up, and were battling to keep them from taking over, because that was the center of the inner sphere at this point. And the Star League had a whole bunch of 400-year-old tech, lost tech, hidden mechs underground, and they came out and joined the battle too. And it was a narrow victory, but they were able to stop them. So there's all these books about all these different campaigns and different heroes and different settings throughout that entire timeline, from no clan to when the clan started invading and stuff like that. So you can get a lot of rich history. And then along with what I didn't mention, I don't know if the Pew Pew's still even there, but what I didn't mention is that about the time that Mechwarrior 2 came out,
too early to drop a UAV?
FAFSA was the company that owned the copyright to this stuff. And some of these mechs had been taken from the Gundam mobile suit Japanese anime art. And cartoon stuff, but they kind of crafted their own story around it all. And I think they had at one point licensed some of that, but the license was limited or not spelled out to be broadly enough.
That was
Macross, thank you. And
or Robotech
in the States, Macross over there, yeah.
And it was Harmony Gold that's been suing.
But they bought the license from FAFSA later on, right?
Anything.
Didn't Harmony Gold buy the license from FAFSA? FAFSA had created all the BattleTech stuff.
No. FAFSA had to pay Harmony Gold.
Oh, okay.
Harmony Gold got some of the Japanese stuff, except they didn't have it, but they took everybody to court for it and sued them, and that caused a lot of the hard stuff.
So anyway, thank you for that. So basically, though, FAFSA at the time was building BattleTech arcades, where they make a pod, 4 pods connected over a local area network and coordinated as a team, as a lance, up against 4 more pods. So you'd pay $7 and you'd strap into one of these BattleTech pods that had a big screen and some side screens and switches and stuff, and then you ran it as a sim in a mall, 4 guys against 4 guys or girls or whatever, and you got to play for, I don't know, it was probably $7 for 10 or 15 minutes in the sim. That's how it kind of worked.
Bravo, Summer.
Yeah, but that was good old days.
And those, they had about 4 locations, so it didn't go big time, but they had them in 4 different locations, I think. And some people still build BattleMech pods to play this game in today.
Are you talking about the ones in the late 80s, early 90s up in Chicago?
Chicago was one place,
so, yeah.
BattleTech Center up there?
Yeah, Chicago was one place they did
pods.
them. I don't know where else. They had some other cities they had them in too.
I think Seattle had one.
That sounds right. Probably down in California. Probably one in New York, I imagine.
Enemy base is being captured.
Hotel Marauder.
Target destroyed.
Marauder's down.
Flee, Echo,
Hotel's down too.
Flee and
And
he's running
Echo.
around.
Target acquired.
Up or down.
He's gonna get me because he's...
Whole bunch of them right here.
Echo Nova Cat.
Base is being captured.
Juliet Griffin.
Target acquired. Heat level critical. Target destroyed.
Too late, buddy.
Base
Too late.
is being captured.
There's 2 of them inside our base.
Target acquired.
Kilo Catapult.
I can't believe we're gonna win this shit. Holy fuck.
Nice, Gunpowder.
Captured.
Can we get back to the base?
Do we have a Speedy that can get to our base?
Yeah, we got 1 RB in the base.
Go,
but
RB,
it's
go.
only 2 of them. It's not gonna be quick though. So we still can win this.
Base is being captured. Base is being captured.
Target spotted.
Yeah. He's pretty core anyway, so
How long do I have to stay in here before it actually flips to us?
Enemy base is being captured.
Do I have to stay in it the whole
I
time?
don't know.
Captured.
Yeah, I think
have
they
the
went
Gen
back all the way.
Yeah, the 8 mech battle
I think that was the wrong choice.
Battletech sim was really cool.
Hey, did you?
I never got to be in one. I don't know if I'd spend that much money to be in one, but it was pretty cool. Kakaya, good night. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for hanging out. So there you go. And then there's the tabletop. I guess I shouldn't leave that. There's all sorts of little models and stuff like that, but there's the tabletop game that Battletech. Sometimes the developers get mixed up. They think, oh, we're going to do a sim that's just like tabletop, because a lot of people love the tabletop Battletech games. There's also all sorts of resource books too, reference manual and all that kind of stuff. So the whole, shenanigans is there. But they'll get mixed up and they'll think, oh, I'm going to make this game. It's going to be a new Battletech game, and we're going to make it just like tabletop, except tabletop doesn't play well as a sim. So most people want to actually play a sim that plays like you're in a mech cockpit. And so there's a lot of arguing back and forth, and ultimately it has to be fun to play and as a sim, not as a tabletop game. And sometimes they'll do weapons and hitboxes based on the sim, and then they'll find out that they don't play well and they'll have to readjust that. Hey, Hellbringer. He's a goose. Wait, who's a goose? Kakaya is? Wait, what? I missed that. Doop-a-doo.
What? Goose?
Goose, duck? Did it actually start with tabletop?
We have a goose.
Sarcasmo? It must have, right?
I ain't sure exactly whether the tabletop come first or the
Sarcasmo thinks tabletop did.
first of the.
I
know
think
the book,
tabletop
there was
came
some
first.
books,
What's
right?
that? Say again. You could find out pretty quickly if you go to is it sarna.net? There's all sorts of Battletech history and stuff there.
I mean, I didn't see the tabletop and the books until after FASA.
I didn't either, but I think they were there because I think they developed that stuff too. I think they developed all their own universe stuff, but they licensed some of the mech designs, right, from the other company.
I know the books were out.
The books came out
and that
right around the time that Mechwarrior 1 came
early
out,
80s.
because that's when I first read the Grey Death Legion books as I was playing Mechwarrior 1.
I got a question. Did you start on the Apple Plus or one of the Franklins or something like? Or the TSR?
No, I'm a Christian, so I didn't play on Apple computers.
So what was your first?
Commodore 64.
Commodore
Oh, PET. It was a PET. Commodore PET my mom brought home from my first computer experience where actually I was doing something on it was on a teletype typewriter at the in the math department at my high school. And you type onto paper, and it also sends the keystrokes back to the mainframe downtown where the school district mainframe was. And then you'd type in your program, and then you'd type run and hit enter, and it would run your program and spit out on that same piece of paper through that same teletype keyboard. It would print out your answer. And if you made a mistake, you had to re-enter you had to retype your whole program. There was no way to save it. And then a year or so later, my mom brought a Commodore PET home from school, and you could load programs off a cassette tape, and then you could run them. And
That was like what, 16 kilobits, wasn't it?
well, it ran off an a Z80, which was an 8-bit chip, had 64K kilobits of memory, 64,000 bits of memory, and so then the Commodore 64 came out right after the Apple IIe, within about a year, and it was way less expensive, and so my family bought a Commodore 64. VIC-20s were out too, but they were really, I think they only had 8K of memory. But a Commodore 64 had 64K memory, had sprites, and you could get a floppy drive for it, and a color monitor with like 256 colors, I think.
Yeah, floppy drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
That
was
kind of
the
brings
one that the
a lot of
Commodore.
old memory.
No, the
with
Commodore.
256 colors.
Maybe it did. Maybe it was only 30. It was at least 32 colors though for the Commodore 64, I think. Sprites could have 32 colors. Maybe the screen generally only could have 16 or something. But we got a Commodore 64, and I remember writing a lot of college papers on that dumb thing. And back then, floppy drives on that machine were only 170K. So if you and Word Pro was the pro.
Whoa, you had 170K
Floppy?
floppy?
Yeah.
You're talking the 5 1/4,
Yeah.
right? I thought they were only 144.
They were on an Apple. So then I would write these papers, and sometimes you'd have to like put a disk in. You'd write, and it would save it to the disk. But then when you got to fill that disk, you had to pull that disk out, put a new one in, and keep writing, and it would daisy chain the disk. So some of my papers took 5 disks, and if you wanted to go back and edit something, you'd have to follow the instructions and put the number 2 disk in and edit, and then it might need then to move stuff, so it would tell you to put in 3 and then 4 and then 5, and then maybe you were on to 6 at that point, right? So it was kind of crazy, and if a disk went bad, which they could, you could lose your document or half of it. So it was insane. And hard drives,
and God help you overwrite.
oh, I know, yeah,
And you forget.
yeah, because you didn't
write
label them
protection.
correctly and stuff. And if you wanted to get a hard drive, then they were $5,000 for a 5 megabyte hard drive. 5 megabyte hard drive. You could get, like, I've got a thumb drive that was down here that's 128 megs, and it cost $8. And it's 1,000 times faster than my hard drive
Wait
was.
a minute. You're talking about the that thing about the size of a desk.
No, these were 5 1/4 inch Winchester drives. I had seen disk packs that were like 18 or 20 inches across in HP mini computers, and those you'd put in, those were really expensive drives, and they would store probably a meg per platter, something like that. Or I don't think any of them stored a gig yet. And there were 8-inch floppy drives also that were like were 1024 K bits.
Yeah, do you remember when the megabyte RAM come out?
All systems nominal.
It was like a big deal when we got a whole megabyte.
Oh
of
yeah,
I
yeah.
think that was near 30 years ago, in 1990s.
The
Miss
what?
Benar, this is not ancient history. This is just recent history.
It's a revolution of PC. So I think it was in 1990s. Or the
no,
RAM was released.
No, we got
Before,
the,
I think some.
a megabyte of RAM. I believe it first come out in 85 or 86 for a megabyte of RAM.
Yeah, from the it escalated quickly, like in less than a decade, it becomes like 64.
You could get a megabyte of
32,
RAM
I forgot.
on higher end machines, but they came out on PCs right around then. Like we sold
Yeah.
CompuPro machines that.
Well, I'm not talking mainframes. I'm talking on PC.
No, I know, but there's a tier in between mainframes and PCs, like S100 boxes. You could get like a 512K RAM drive, and it was a whole S100 card about the size of a book that would slide into an S100 bus slot and give you 512K of static RAM. It was really amazing. But that was like $2,000 for that 512K. But you'd put them on a business system that had multiple users, and it would just fly. And your CPU was 64-bit. I mean, no, it was an 8-bit, or they did have 16-bit versions also.
4 bits. They were 4-bit. I remember the 4-bit, and then we got the 8-bit. But they were like,
Yeah.
you had some 16-bit processors.
Well, the 16-bit processors had 8-bit
16-bit
I/O
processors.
coming in and out of them. So they were crippled. So the 8088, 8086, the 8088 had 8 in, 8 out, 16 to crunch, and then 8 in, 8 out memory bandwidth. Then the 8086 had 16 in, 16 out, so it was nearly twice as fast. But, you know, then they, at the same time that those were getting popular, then Motorola was putting their 68,000 chip out, which was 32 in, 32 out, and 32 internal. So it just kind of, you know, keeps going from there. But I missed something with the chat here. Battletech was first. The Silence, I don't know what the Silence is. Books came out after the Table Talk. Stackpole tells the story. Michael Stackpole, first Mechwarrior came out 5 years after 1989. Okay. This continues to be an educational stream. Today we're learning about ancient history. I already mentioned that. This is not ancient history. This is what, you know, made technology the way it is for you today, Miss BNR. So it's important for you to know this stuff.
The one around the sniping hill, Echo State.
Yeah, 3 decades.
I found the answers, but he saw something shiny and it was too late. No, it's not too late. We're circling back. That's good. It's all good.
No, but I remember all the development stuff in this stuff, you know.
Yeah, every time something cool would come out. Did you ever used to read PC Magazine? Because it was really popular and it was like the thing to read all the time, you know.
But that was like in the late 80s, early 90s.
John Dvorak would always have some strong opinion that didn't really matter about something. I don't know if that magazine still is printed. I think it's just an online site now.
Artillery strike.
I mean, they used to put disc in it.
Target spotted.
You know, they had disc that they would put in for you. Demo disc and stuff. Echo, Bushwhacker.
Need assistance. Target spotted.
Target destroyed.
I didn't realize I was dashing to it.
And the push begins. Here we go.
Man, those missiles are destroying me. Yeah, kill them. Oh, he was running SRM. That explains the whole.
Mauler.
Heat level critical.
Target spotted.
Heat level critical.
Target spotted.
Heat level critical.
Oh, I'm getting a little hot here. Ow.
Delta.
Hotel behind us. Hotel behind us.
You are not paying attention.
I'm too hot.
Marauder,
I need help. Oh, I'm dying here. Ouch.
Level critical.
Behind.
I need help with the Timberwolf on top. I guess I'm coming around on. Never mind. I'll be dead before you guys can get to me.
Behind us.
Target acquired.
Target spotted. Target spotted. Target spotted.
Go.
Heat level critical.
I'm down.
Ooh.
Bravo.
Heat level.
They got me too.
Center torso critical damage.
Yeah, they finally got me. I did some damage. 542. No kills. We are from the last century. That's true. ARP. We are the chosen. You are the chosen ones.
Hey, do you remember that computer that we had to swap the wires on?
You mean like to program it? The Altair?
The switches and the wires.
It was the Altair.
Yeah, that's it. Did you ever get to play with one of
No, I
those?
wouldn't have been interested. I don't want to work that hard. I don't want to have to think that hard. The guy that I used to work with actually did his first programming on punch cards. And you have to bring a stack in and stick it into the card reader, and it would feed it into the mainframe and read the program off little punch holes in cards.
Oh, when I was in the corner, we were still using punch cards when I was in the corner.
Wow.
I mean, we had some 286s and some apples.
Yeah.
But we used the teletypes and the punch cards.
Oh my gosh. You'd think you'd have cutting edge stuff. But I guess, you know, mainframe, Mainframes back then were full-on 16-bit computers, right? Or sometimes 60, sometimes 32-bit.
I remember in '86 when we were getting
try,
the
guys.
first of the Super Cobras.
Oh, the helicopters?
They brought in a Cray 2000 to run the simulator.
Wow. Wow. Which is like hundreds of millions of dollars, right? For one of those Crays.
Yeah, and you had to have it had to have a power core. You had to have a separate power core for it to run. And it had gel memory, and you had to keep power on it all the time. If you lost power for a split second, you lost everything, and you had to reprogram.
No
it from
backup, huh?
scratch. Because of that gel memory.
What? I don't know what gel
But that
memory
gel
was.
memory could hold so much stuff at the
What
time.
was gel memory? I've never heard of that, I don't think. Andy Griffith was before my time, Sarcasmo. I remember seeing it on TV, thinking this is a dumb show. It was just really slow, boring, and black and white. I grew up with Hogan's Heroes and Wild Wild West and Star Trek and Man from U.N.C.L.E. and Mission Impossible and all that kind of stuff.
Wild Wild West was a kind of crazy movie, but it was kind of good.
Which movie?
Wild Wild West.
No, the movie's dumb. The old TV show was great. I'm talking about the old
But
TV show.
The thing I got a kick out of, right? That Cray 2000, you're looking at hundreds of millions of dollars for that setup. And the flight simulators, right?
Yeah.
Right now, I think DCS or something, Microsoft Flight Sims are about as good.
Oh, they're probably better. The graphics are for sure better, and the number you can put whole flight consoles and controls and stuff behind it, and I'll bet they're better. And you can run.
Well, I remember the big thing then was the RBG monitors. RBG, right?
Yeah.
You had like 360 by something or by 240 or something. Yeah. And that was the
big thing. Got to get one of those. 16,000 colors.
Yeah.
I mean, it was awesome.
I think rotary phones. I had rotary phones. Sarcasmo. Absolutely. I know how to I know how to work a rotary phone. A lot of kids these days, they do not know how to actually dial a rotary phone.
I still have one in my trailer on the wall.
Do you use it?
No. I've done away with the landline for the simple fact that why should I pay for a landline?
we got rid of our landline too. I have my work landline still, my office line.
No, you're missing my point. They're still using rotary dialers.
No, I know. I have one of those
scale.
on my wall also, just because it looks cool, not because we're using it anymore. Lions Club meeting sometimes.
No, I mean the local exchange. The local exchange is still using the rotary dialers.
Really? Where's this?
Yeah. In Southern Illinois.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't have electricity till I was 8.
And
we had to build our own fucking power plant.
Oh my gosh.
We had to pay for and build our own power plant down
This phone that I'm holding in my hand is probably more powerful than that Cray supercomputer was way back then.
Yep.
It's close to it.
I mean, it's got 256 gigs of memory, and it's got a 32-bit CPU core. It's got 5 cores. Actually, it's multiple cores. Cray's had a lot of cores. They had a lot of cores, so it's probably not up to a Cray.
And the Cray 2000s, they cooked.
Yeah.
I mean, you should have seen the refrigeration systems they had, and the power. It had its own little power plant, enough to run a small city.
Oh my gosh. Okay, guys, we're going to fast forward to the future. So you don't know what's probably being worked on right now maybe if you're not into computer stuff at all. But if you've heard of quantum computers, Google's working on quantum computers that use qubits and 4 states instead of 2 states. They can use multiple states, and they can collapse on an answer rather than compute an answer. They can collapse on an answer. All sorts of weird stuff. And I'm putting Miss Bionard to sleep. Oh my gosh. Miss Bionard's okay, you can go to sleep. And then the other thing they're working on is optical computers. They've been working on those for decades, and they're using, instead of electrons going through wires and transistors and resistors, they're sending photons through optical light pipes, and they're making optical transistors and optical memory storage. And the advantage to using...
Doing that for
what's that?
Been doing that for decades.
Well, they don't have functional systems you can buy until just recently. There's a company that's actually putting out...
somebody's actually got it.
Somebody actually has a CPU that is an optical processor, and it's like a processing chip, like a GPU would be for graphics, but it's for processing. So it's a add-on to a regular computer.
You used to at an affordable level.
Yeah. But the advantage to using optical computers instead of physical electron standard transistorized computers is, instead of running at megahertz or gigahertz, like my CPU runs at 3.54 gigahertz, right? They run 1,000 times faster than that. They run at terahertz.
You do know that the avionics and stuff and top line fighters and stuff like that are pushing this.
But those are fly-by-wire. That's different than the actual computer core.
No.
Really?
I'm talking the cores, the computers that run these things.
Are running on optical chips?
Yeah.
I was not aware of that. I didn't know there was any in actual use applications.
Yeah, a lot of the avionics and stuff, that's how they run.
Yeah, but are you talking about just gyroscopes, or are we talking about actual processing units in optical computers?
No, we're not talking gyroscopes.
Because those are optical too, right?
We're talking, okay, you know how a lot of these modern fighters can do combat themselves?
Yeah.
And a lot of these drones?
Yeah, are autonomous.
That's what's running. That's why they cost so much.
Are you like, where did you hear this? I've never heard this before. Do you have any kind of... I've never even seen reference to any optical computers being used in any deployed military gear. I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just really curious.
I can't say that. I can't say that.
Oh, okay.
But that's my field of operation. That's my field.
Okay.
I worked at McDonnell Douglas for a while.
Okay. So you can't say so. But aren't there any like Jane's articles about it or anything like that? Isn't that some of that common knowledge that's available?
Jane's is full of shit on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I just wasn't aware that we actually had in the field.
I know for a fact that Jane's is full of shit on a lot of stuff.
Well, I'm sure, because they're guessing on a lot of stuff, right?
Because I'm the one that helped develop some of the stuff that they got in there. They're talking about.
Yeah.
Target spotted.
Target acquired. Heat level critical. Base is being captured. Target destroyed. Heat level critical.
I killed a mech.
Ow. He's some bad like fun. They are more base. Ow. What's wrong with my cat? They're fighting.
Are they fighting like cats and dogs or just like cats?
Rough. Me rough. Rough out. I fall down.
They are stomping us.
Base
This is not good.
They are stomping us.
Okay, why does... Oh, no.
Things are getting bad.
Yeah, if you want to finish off the Echo, that would be cool. Echo should be about dead. I mean, why ain't dead?
Warning, incoming missile.
Shoot.
I was putting round after round after round in. And he managed to kill me.
Yeah, that king trap caught me.
It'd be nice if we could get
bad.
him to come through the tunnel on us.
Well, he's running 60.
Why is half our team way back here? Ah, this is terrible.
There was 2 legs going behind, so me and the other one going to chase.
This is going to be over.
And that's the end of me. That's the end of me. Yeah.
I have DC as well.
Warning, incoming missile.
Who runs missile bolt on dial? Doesn't make sense.
Warning, incoming missile. Left torso, critical damage. Right torso, critical damage. Right leg, critical damage. Heat level, critical.
I took one with me.
Heat sink destroyed. Center torso, critical damage.
Run and hide, Dark. Run and hide while you can.
I can't.
Left leg.
I can't hide. There's 2 of them there. I got 2 kills and 663. Decent. Won't be on till late tomorrow. Got to fix friend's PC. All right, Hellbringer. That's cool. Have a great day tomorrow. Sarcasmo, good night.
Heat level, critical. Warning, incoming missile.
Well, now I got to go look. And did you see the Phoenix Ghost UAVs that the U.S. is sending over to Ukraine? That like people are going, wait, we've never even heard of these.
No, I haven't seen those.
Do you know anything about them?
I haven't seen those.
I see. Or you're going to have to kill me. I understand.
No, I just haven't seen them. But yes, I'm in the industry. I have plenty of contacts that are still there. I've still got buddies working for NASA, DARPA, and all
That's
kinds
cool.
of places like that.
That's fun. The guy that I used to work with, when he was in college, he went to MIT. So I should back up and tell this story. You'll enjoy this story. Have you ever seen the movie Real Genius? It's got Val Kilmer in it and some other kid that, you know, they were young. It's kind of a funny movie, but it reminds me of this guy that I used to, he passed away, but he was a friend of mine and a good friend. And he was, you know, in college in the 60s or whenever that period was. And when he was a kid, a teenager, he bought a computer, or he built a computer, and he had one of the old dial-up modems, you know, that coupled to a acoustic coupler, so you put your phone headset in a rubber receiver, and right?
Yes, the old 100 baud
Yep.
mode.
And he would have those.
Yes, I've had.
And
them.
he would hack into computer systems, and he said, you know, when when you're young, and you kind of go one place, and that leads to another, and pretty soon you're in a bank, and then pretty soon you're in some government database, and then pretty soon you're in this other database that's some sort of military database, or it wasn't military, it was like a CIA. He was in like a CIA database. And he said, you're in there and you have full access to it. And what do? You look yourself up. And so he looks himself up in there, and he finds that they've got more information about him as a kid than he ever would have dreamed possible. And it just scared him completely. And he said he backed out, kind of covered his tracks and backed out, and he never went back hacking into those kinds of systems again. But he was a consultant for Microsoft's Windows kernel for the core kernel level security layer on their operating systems, and he would consult for Front Page on their security. He designed the back-end database for Amazon.com when that got started up, and
yeah, you're talking he's our age.
Yeah, he's 10 years older than me. I'm 60. He was 70. I'm 62. He was 72, and he met his wife that he was going to marry in high school at a science fair, and she was into biology, and so she'd done this really cool biology experiment, and she was sure she was going to win because like nobody had ever thought of doing this before, and she'd gotten results that would actually be useful for medical stuff, and so she was really proud of herself, and she was trying to show off her thing to the judges, and people are standing around watching it, and all of a sudden she heard this zip pop, zip pop, zip pop, and everybody kind of stopped looking at her, and they all turned around and they started moving away, and they went to the other side of the gymnasium, and on the other side of the gymnasium was Fred's display where he had built a laser that was powerful enough to pop balloons, and he was popping balloons in the gym for his science experiment. And back then that was a pretty big deal because most people couldn't build a laser at all, let alone one that was strong enough. It was hard to buy commercial lasers that could burn through a thin piece of rubber, right? So he won the science fair, and she was really ticked. And then the next year, she was sure she was going to beat him. She came up with this whole other thing that nobody had ever done before and thought it was going to be so cool. And she was going to win for sure. And she got there, and she was all proud of it and stuff. And then suddenly realized that everybody's around Fred's display again. And he had made a closed-circuit television system, including camera, transmitter, and receiver, that didn't use cathode ray tubes. It used a whole different principle of capturing and then displaying images from the camera that had never been done before. And so he won the science fair again. So then they ended up dating and getting married. Well, so he got into MIT, and he went to MIT, and he worked. I saw a picture of him. He worked for, he was a student of the guy who invented the laser, and I saw a picture of him cutting his hair off with a little laser he built for class, and so the hair is falling, in front of his face. And their group, him and 3 other guys.
What's his name?
Fred Junker. Frederick Junker.
Is that spelled with a J? J-A-U?
No, it's Y-U-N-K-E-R. K-E-R. Frederick Junker. Anyway, so they were tasked as their project to come up with a guidance control system for the Mariner Mars lander project. And it had to be able to, so the idea was that there'd be the base lander, it would have little drones that would go out, and you had to be able to communicate to these drones so that you could drive them around and have them pick up soil samples and bring them back, for example, right?
So we're talking in late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah, late 60s probably, yeah. I don't know the exact time frame because I didn't know him.
Yeah, the Mariner, I think they launched it in like 72, 74, something like that.
Yeah, but they would have been developing the tech for it before that. You'll be able to pinpoint.
Late 60s, early 70s.
You'll be able to pinpoint the time much closer in just a minute, okay? Because you'll know exactly what's going on here. So it had to be something that would work in any kind of weather, rain, sleet, hail, snow, fog, dust storms, or whatever, because they didn't know what they were going to encounter on the surface of Mars, and be able to communicate to these little drones. And so since he was into and good with lasers, and he also designed lasers later on for spectrophysics and all the optical scanners that you see on checkout aisles and stuff, he probably designed half of those. And so they decided that they would do a laser guidance thing to these little drones. And so they designed it, they prototyped the board and documented it, how it all worked, and tested it, and it worked great. And they handed it in, thought, oh, that's great, we did our project, we're going to get an A, blah, blah, blah. And 6 months later, their design showed up in Vietnam in laser-guided missile systems because it worked in any kind of weather, was unjammable, and was reliable. And they had developed a laser-guided missile system for the military and not known it. And they were like horrified when they found this out, because they were all pacifists. They didn't want to have anything to do with making a weapon, right? And killing people. And so they decided that what they would do, just they felt like they had to do, was to come up with a way to jam it. And so they did. They came up with a way to jam it. They documented and made a prototype for that, and then they tried to smuggle the plans to Russia to balance the odds. And of course, they're geniuses, right? But they're not smart enough to know that if MIT's campus is crawling with DARPA and CIA people, that they would just go away after the term's over, right? So they were intercepted, and the stuff was intercepted, and they were all, arrested or kind of snuck away. And he said they were kept separate and moved around the country for 6 months and interrogated by people for 6 months until they finally realized they were just stupid college kids, that, they weren't Russian spies and they weren't trying to, destroy America or anything. And he was banned from ever working on any kind of military projects again, which he was happy for anyway. He didn't want to do that. So that's the kind of guy he was. And when I met him, he was a consultant for the computer company I worked for, where I was, a business computer sales. And so he would, train us, and he had a really good knack for taking difficult technical concepts and boiling them down so any idiot could understand them, right? And because he knew them so well. And I went to his house one time, and I'm living in his house right now. We bought his house. And he used to have this little shed behind his house. It was a little it was just like a shack. It's 20 by 20. And he had converted it into kind of an office and just had carpet and a low ceiling, and it was 20 by 20 and basically empty. I think he put power out there, and that's about it. Kind of heater. And he had a drafting table out there, and he designed, he was designing computer chips for people. He could read assembler, he could read machine code, with zeros and ones and stuff. Just crazy smart guy. Had a photographic memory. He didn't ever forget stuff, which he said is really a curse more than a blessing, because you can't forget stuff, right? He had 8 degrees.
Oh, the photographic memory?
He had 8 degrees. They were almost, I think all of them were in sciences and physics and hard science and optics and stuff like that, computer science and stuff. Super smart guy. He would take all of the Microsoft exams for all the different certifications for all their different software and operating systems and applications and stuff. Then he would tell them what was wrong on their exams so they could fix their exams before they'd roll them out for other people to take. So anyway, when he was doing, I asked him, well, how long does it take you to design a CPU? And he said, well, I sit here in front of my, I gotta move. I sit here in front of my computer drafting table. It's not a computer, just a drafting table, right? And it's just a blank sheet of paper with a drafting arm and a pencil. He sits there, for 48 hours, just thinking in front of a white sheet of
How
paper.
does that diver on our platform?
Heat level critical. Right torso destroyed.
I'm stuck.
Left
Shut down and
arm
stuck in the line of fire.
damage. Right arm destroyed.
So he sits there for 48 hours thinking, and then he draws for 24 hours, and then he goes to sleep, and he's done. And I said, what did you design? He said, I designed the Belmac chip. It's a 32-bit, 32 in, 32 out, 32 internal processing CPU that you can gang up 32 of them on a motherboard and have a supercomputer. And so that's what he did in 3 days. He designed their chip for them. It's ridiculous. He did it in his head. It's just ridiculous. People like that, it's just there. And he's honestly way too smart. And excuse me, I used to work with him doing web stuff, and he'd do all the the programming and all the server stuff and all that stuff, and I would do the computer customer support and the graphic design and layout and documentation and sales and all that kind of stuff. And I could not keep up with him. He could program what 8 or 10 programmers could do, he could do in the same amount of time, and it would be better. And
he's doing it in his head.
And he doesn't always do everything in his head. That's how he did the CPU designs. He had gotten out of that by the time I was working with him, because I had bought my house from him, and we'd kind of not known each other that well for quite a while, and then we ended up working together because of some other stuff that coincided, and became really good friends. And I asked him one time, he's one of those people that he can only put up with dumb people for so long. It's emotionally just difficult for him.
Oh, I understand.
Right. And I asked him one time, I said, well, who are your other friends? Because I'm with him all the time on the phone and stuff. He said, I don't really have any other friends. I said, why not? He said, it just gets too hard to interact with people, and I drive them away. And he could certainly drive people away. He could be a real terribly mean at times to people. I have pretty high tolerance for that, so I could put up with it. But and because I saw his heart, I was able to look past it. But at any rate, he said, I just can't deal with people that aren't very smart for very long. And so I kind of laughed and I said, well, why are you with me? Why are you talking to me all the time and working with me? And he paused for a second. He said, well, actually, you're about as low as I can go. And I'm thinking, okay, that's like a compliment.
I actually understand the potential reason. I live where I live.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I cannot stand being surrounded by morons and cynics. And I can't stand idiots trying to tell me what I have to do, that I gotta do that,
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But it was a great experience working with him and knowing him in so many ways, but some of his stories are just so hilarious. Like, he had a nephew that came over to their house when my house was his house years ago. And they had gone outside, and the nephew was taking care of themselves, doing whatever. And they hadn't thought about it, right? And then they seen, well, he's been inside for quite a while, and he's kind of quiet. He wasn't very old. He's probably 6 or 7 years old. And they thought, maybe we better go check on him. So they went in to the house, and in the kitchen, the nephew had taken one of the lasers from his front room, because he had lots of different lasers around, and he had set it up in the kitchen and turned it on. Then he'd taken aluminum foil and folded it into little mirrors, and he was bouncing this laser all around, zigzagging around the kitchen everywhere. And in order to see where the beams were going, so he could place the next mirror and point it where he wanted to go, he had taken flour and had been tossing it up in the air. So the kitchen was covered in flour and crisscrossing laser beams everywhere.
That's one of the things that I get that I think's funny. People don't understand that actual lasers, you don't see them.
Yeah.
Most lasers are not in the visible spectrum.
Well, these might have been, but even then, you know, it's hard to see. You don't see it just going through the air unless it's bright enough and dark enough that you're, you know, reflecting some of the air or dust in the air off the dust, typically. Or moisture. You could have air, you know, water droplets that it's reflecting off of, refracting out of.
I mean, you've heard of Jack McDonald, right?
No.
The founder of
McDonnell Douglas.
McDonald Aircraft.
No. No.
Well, I got to work with him.
Wow.
You know, I got to work with people like that. You know, I mean, I got to work with. I was on the build team for the YF-23.
Wow.
You
Really?
understand what I'm saying?
That's really cool.
Yeah.
How old are you? Aren't you? You're about my age, right?
I'm 56.
56. I'm 62, so close.
I'll be 50. I'll be 57.
Okay. Wow, that's pretty cool.
I was a Marine at 17.
Yeah, but how did you get into the technical side?
What do you mean?
Well,
I grew up. Okay, I grew up on farm.
Yeah.
My dad was a natural. He was a natural welder, engineer, and metalsmith.
So he just tinkered and built stuff.
He was a natural. Right? He was illiterate.
Yeah, but smart.
But he taught me how to read.
Yeah.
Okay. And he could draw and stuff like that. Oh, you said you grew up with Gunsmoke, right?
No, I never watched Gunsmoke, but that's I remember that being a show. Little let's see what there. I think I was talking about Wild Wild West.
Dad taught me, was always taught me how to work on engines, and machinery, and how to draw up and build. It's like, okay, I need something to do this, so we'll draw it up, and it's like, okay, now this is what it does. And I mean, people would come from all over, from 5 different states to come see him, to say, I need a piece of equipment to do this.
Yeah, and he could build it.
And he would draw it up and build, and we would build
it.
So when I was in high school, that's when the first of the PCs started coming out. It was like my first year in high school, and that's where I started with the computers.
Yeah,
it was there, and I graduated high school my junior year, and I went to the Corps my junior year.
Okay.
And I went into the aviation field because that's what I wanted to do.
But did you want to fly jets, or did you want to work, and end up designing jets?
Okay.
Like what did you do on the fighter program? What was your contribution to that?
I'm a flight mechanic.
Flight mechanic? Okay.
But no, see, when I was growing up, my grandfather was a mechanic with the 214. You probably seen that show, Baba Black Sheep?
Yes. I liked that show.
Well, guess who I met when I was in
Robert Conrad, whatever.
No, not Robert Conrad.
Who?
Greg Boeington.
Oh, the real Pappy Boeington.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I got to meet.
That's really cool.
And one of my uncles is one of the Frozen Chosen.
I don't know who. I've heard that reference, but I don't know what it means. I don't remember.
Chosun Reservoir in Korea.
No, don't.
Let's put it.
Don't remember.
The story goes he carried my auntie out from Hagaru, out of North Korea, in his.
Wow.
That's how the story
Yeah.
goes. And yes, my auntie is North Korean.
Target spotted.
Huh. Oh, shoot, I missed a shot on him.
Target spotted.
Bravo,
Someone
bravo.
down.
Target spotted.
Echo.
We got a lot of hotspot going on here.
Target spotted. Need assistance.
Oh, I want that Fafnir.
Why he dive into the assault? This dude is crazy.
Artillery strike.
Oh, he's dead.
There's a
That's
Fafnir
the
down
person.
that to the right there. Be careful.
Destroyed.
He's down.
Target spotted.
He monsters.
Oh man, I'm down.
Yeah, I need help on the likes.
I only did 500 damage in one kill.
Hit the likes. Hit the likes.
And I'm the
It was
first
like
one
4 likes behind my back. Why in the world they have so many likes?
Watch that backfield.
I want the Fafnir.
Target spotted.
One with you, Dark.
Left arm critical. Heat level critical.
Uh-oh.
Center torso.
They're behind you, Dark.
I know. I couldn't get him while I was getting these guys. I figured that was going to happen.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on, stop. I'm the only one on our team with a kill?
Yeah, I did 455 damage, but I didn't get a kill.
SRM destroyed.
I thought I got one kill, and I did not. Somebody else got it. But I guess you got it. Yeah.
Bravo, that
Yeah.
man. Yeah, I finished it.
We're getting trounced.
Torso destroyed. Right arm destroyed.
I feel like we were kind of the ones holding things back. Well, maybe they were just killing everybody else except for us. Saving the best for last.
Oh, I was taking fire from all of them.
No, our team we held back in the standard and then they just dive in kill us all.
Yeah, I know. I charged in like an idiot.
No, it wasn't you. Someone else did.
Well, that should be it for me. I should go to bed.
Oh yeah, it's really late now for you.
Yeah. It's 1:15. Yeah, I should quit. I should have quit 40 minutes ago, but
It's 3:15 for me.
yeah, but you're young. You're a spring chicken, remember? You and Drax. Crimson's just a baby. He's just a tiny little baby. He's getting old things dumb.
Why am I a baby?
Because you're so young. How old are you?
I'm not young, Dar. I'm like 36 right now. Going to be 37
Well,
soon.
so you're half my age, basically.
So you're still younger than my youngest.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yep. Enjoy your youth. It's nice. Okay, I got to go to bed.
Well, yeah. Alright.
Well, it's nicer than when you get old and you still have the same problems. And then more, right?
I'm start having problem already, so yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna enjoy that somehow.
I've been having problems since I was 18. And then it was even worse when I was 21. And then when I was 25, they got even
Oh,
worse.
man. Health problems?
Yeah, due to battle damage.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah.
Burned, shot.
Yeah.
I've been shot 6 times.
6 times?
Yeah. I've been stabbed, slashed, burned.
Oh my gosh.
Blown up. I'm 15% skin grafting.
Wow. And that was mostly from your stint as a Marine, not after you did engine maintenance repair type stuff. So it before you got into that, right?
Actually, I did a lot of stuff between active times in the Marine Corps. After my first pump, you know, when I was on what do you call it? I was reserve status while recovering.
Okay.
And I worked for McDonnell Douglas at the time.
Okay.
When I was doing that. Okay. And during that time, I was a tech rep on Harriers. I got to work on the Stol 15, right? And we did, and we were doing the prototype for the Foxtrot F-18 at the time.
What's the Stol 15?
It can take off in 500 feet.
Oh.
You know the thrust vectoring that's on the YF-22?
Yeah.
We did that.
So did you help design that stuff, or did you like help put it together and test it and figure it out with them? Like what?
Yes, all of the above.
Wow, that's just really cool.
And the Harrier, there's a Band-Aid on one of the reactionary control ducts between the 19 and 22 frame that I flat out designed and had to go instruct everyone that has a Harrier with this particular part on it how to install it and work on it.
Wow. The Stol 15 looks really cool. I don't think I've really looked at it much.
It's got vector thrust and canards.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'll see if I can.
Yeah, I see the canard wings.
I'll link it.
I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, the red, white, and blue,
Yeah.
right? Beautiful, isn't
Yeah,
she?
it's really nice looking. And that didn't reach production though, right?
The Stol 15.
Yeah.
No.
Was it a test, like a proof of concept on things, or?
It was a test bed. Yeah, that was a Charlie F-15. It was a test bed. Look up the YF-23, the Black Widow and the Gray Ghost. I mean, we had to come up with whole new design specifications and tooling methods to even build this.
I remember when the YF-23 was coming out, it was like, that's a really cool looking plane. And that didn't go into production either, right? With that was a test bed also?
No, because, well...
Or it got canceled because of whatever reasons.
Because the chairman of the Senate Appropriations Committee was from Georgia. And where's Lockheed Martin based out of?
Not Georgia.
Marietta, Georgia.
Oh, so why did the chairman cancel it then?
They went with the F-22.
Yeah, why? Like, why was it deemed better? It wasn't deemed better, was it?
Because the chairman of the Senate Appropriations Committee was from Georgia.
But I thought you said that this was from Georgia.
No.
Oh, okay. I missed.
Northrop McDonald Northrop McDonald built the YF-23.
Okay. Which plane do you think is which plane is actually a better?
The YF-22 shouldn't even have got to that stage because the first two of them pancaked.
I remember that. Which of the two planes do you think is a better fighter? Which do you think is a better fighter, regardless of what got picked?
The YF-22 would have been more room to add avionics and stuff, more payload, half again the range. Oh yeah, and it go faster.
What's the difference between the 22 and the 23?
What do you mean? What's the difference?
Well, I'm looking at there's the 22 and there's the YF-22 and the YF-23. Which one's is the 23 later? There's a lot.
No, the YF-23 was we had it built before the YF-22s even got. We had most of the testing done even before the YF-22 started their testing.
Oh, so so Lockheed Martin did the YF-22.
Correct.
And McDonnell Douglas did the YF.
Northrop McDonnell Douglas
did the 23.
And Lockheed Martin. Right?
Yeah.
Lockheed
Martin.
Yeah,
remember them.
The YF-23 or the YF-22. They did the YF-22s. Okay. Let's put it this way: if they would have went with the YF-23s and had been the F-23, they would have been in production by 92.
Okay, so
However,
there's so many numbers going around here. You worked on the 23, right?
Correct.
And that was McDonnell Douglas and Northrop and
McDonnell
and
Douglas,
Lockheed.
Yes. Lockheed Martin on the F-22.
Oh, on the F-22. Okay. All right.
Now, the reason it took them another 10 years to even get the first F-22 production model out is they swiped our flight control systems, our thrust vectoring systems, right, to make it do what it was doing.
Because they didn't have that technology and couldn't make their own. They had to. So, do you guys are you able to share?
The first two YF-22s pancaked.
Yeah.
Because of their flight controls.
Are they able to, when you guys are doing a big project like this for the military, can you share technology to each other? Or generally that's proprietary, right?
Okay, how about this? Ford and Chevy.
Yeah.
Do they share?
Yes.
Oh, what do they share?
Lots of things, I think. I don't pay too close attention to cars. I should probably stop my stream, though. Hang on a second. People are like going, what? What are they talking about? Why didn't he stop? Good night, everybody. Stream ending. Doop, 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 doop. Stream ending. Here we get this. Good night, everybody. Good night, so good night.
Good night.
So good night. We are so good nighting.
No, but basically...
Hang on, it's not quite done yet. I'm doing the outro stuff. It's alright. And I gotta get to the right buttons. And then it plays the different things. And then I push the other buttons. I need to make just one button that does it all is what I need to do. I'm only down to